Good day, everybody. Hi, I am Steve Farrell. I'm a co-founder of Humanities Team, and I'm coming to you live, as we always do, this Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 noon Eastern. I'm coming to you from our Humanities Team studio in Boulder, Colorado. You can see who I've got on the screen here with me. Jude Currivan is coming in live from a very blessed place on the planet. Where are you coming in from this morning, Jude?
I'm coming in from England, and a very special place, Steve, as you say, an ancient sacred landscape called Avebury, which has been sacred and really honoured for at least 8,000 years. So we go back a tad, we go back a way.
Oh, 8,000 years. Whew, I should say so. So nice to have you with me here. Thank you for joining me today, Jude. I'm going to give her an introduction here in a moment, but first, I want to shout out to, I can see on the screen our Humanities Stream members. They're in the green room here with us, so I can see many of you on screen. I want to just shout out to you and wave to you. Thank you for being here. Our Humanities Team friends out on Facebook, our friends, Jude Currivan's friends, and Whole World View, and these different organizations, Unitive Narrative, all of the evolutionary leaders. So a big shout out to all of you. Also, John Raymer. Boy, big shout out to John Raymer and the incredible work that he's doing in the world and all of the locations that he's broadcasting to here. So thank you all for being here with us. So since this is a live program, we do get to questions during the program. So I want to invite you as Jude and I get talking. And wow, we got it's a 50-minute program today. We're going to go 50 minutes instead of 60, but so many important and interesting things that we're going to get to. We're going to jump right in here in just a second. If you have questions, throw them in the chat. We'll get to as many as we can before we go off the air. Our theme here today is the keys to evolving in a conscious universe. So here is a little bit about Jude. Jude Currivan Ph.D. is a cosmologist, planetary healer, futurist, and author at the forefront of exploring humanity's extraordinary evolutionary potential. Jude integrates leading-edge science, consciousness research, and universal wisdom teachings to create a holistic worldview. Her work aims to enable transformational and emergent resolutions to our collective planetary issues, raising awareness and empowering fundamental change and sustainable solutions to global problems. Today, Jude is joining me to discuss the keys to evolving in a conscious universe and share some of the ways you can use these keys to unlock the full potential of your own and humanity's evolution. And again, so nice to have you with me, Jude, here today.
It's always wonderful to be with you and this wonderful community. Thank you, Steve.
And by the way, John Raymer's with the Sign Network, so I just want to shout out to them, sign.network. You can learn about the incredible work that they're doing on the planet. So, Jude, let's just jump right in here. We've got a free program that we actually just started promoting with you today. It's called The Keys to Evolving in a Conscious Universe. Doesn't that sound inviting? So, and what a blast that was creating this program. You put a lot of wisdom in this. It's a free program. If you go to the Humanities Team website, or if you're on our email list, you'll see we sent out actually a communication this morning on it, invited people to click on a link and watch this terrific program. And then that leads into a masterclass for people that want to go deeper. And the people here on the Humanities Stream Plus platform, the masterclass is there. So you can dive right in today. It's called Our Conscious Revolution. So Jude is there. So you can dive right in today. It's called Our Conscious Revolution. So Jude, you want to just share a little bit? There's so much ground that we cover because there's so much research that you bring in, including work that you're doing just out in the world with NGOs and the UN, et cetera.
Well, in terms of the keys to evolving in a conscious universe, Steve, I think the first thing is there are keys and there is an invitation. There is this almost, in fact, when we talk about keys, the door's open for us. we don't even need, it's not even a locked door we have to use a key for. It's an open door of a consciously evolving universe that it seems to me is inviting us to step forward into this incredible adventure. And, you know, the other term in that title keys to evolving in a conscious universe. Because, we were talking about a few years ago how different things were. And, the old paradigm was not of a conscious universe, at least not in our Western collective perspective. The old paradigm was of a materialist, separated, effectively dead universe, a random universe, a meaningless universe, not a conscious universe. And in this last few years, even, literally in these last few years, the evidence has now become so compelling, so wide-ranging, that, the old paradigm cannot stand against it, because the evidence is sort of saying, look at me, you can't ignore me anymore. And that evidence is indeed that we live in a conscious, meaningful universe that is non-locally unified and that meaningfully exists to purposefully evolve. And its story is our story. This is the thing that I feel is so incredibly wonderful and exciting. When we go back 13.8 billion years to this incredible journey of a conscious evolutionary universe, that whole journey is our story, is our invitation now to remember that, to remember we are microcosmic co-creators of its evolutionary impulse, and to wake up and to grow up and to show up to become its co-evolutionary partners. So the first key really is understanding what I've just shared. Not being in that old paradigm where somehow we're separate from each other. Oh, do we have meaning in a meaningless universe? It's pretty hard to find. But this understanding, which is indigenous, which is ancient, which is at the leading edge of science, is saying, yes, we do have meaning. Yes, we do have purpose. Yes, this is our story and our invitation. And I would say that is the first key. Understanding that is our first key. And then that opens all the other ways of living into the being and the doing and the becoming of this evolutionary invitation.
Yeah. Oh, so beautiful. And so, and as you mentioned here in so many things that you just covered, but that separation and this dual universe, these are just illusions and fictions, aren't they?
Yes. I mean, ancient wisdom, indigenous wisdom has always told us that. But, I think two things. First of all, the progress and the process of the scientific investigations over the last 4 centuries have focused more and more on the appearance of our universe. And it's brought us to this point where we can have a Zoom conversation. I mean, the technology is extraordinary. But because it's really focused on the appearance of our universe, and what we now know is that appearance arises from deeper levels of cosmic intelligence and causation, we're now getting the evidence that's piercing down through that appearance to those deeper levels and revealing the wonder, the incredible marvels of truly a conscious universe of which we are intrinsically microcosms and conscious co-creators of. So the science has brought us to this way, but now it's converging with those universal wisdom teachings into an invitation to now what? It's a sort of the old question, what if, what then? So what if, yes, we now have the evidence that enables a new and unitive narrative to underpin and frame us and empower us. What does that mean in our lives, our lived lives? Because this evidence is showing up not just at the very small and the very big, it's showing up at every scale in between and vitally at the level of our everyday lived lives. So this is not something we can just push to the side or say, oh, well, science is looking at this and we don't. This is revealing to us who we really are, who we really are.
Ultimate reality, right?
Yes.
Yeah, how it really works. Isn't it interesting that we're, just like we had a program a while back and brought in even Galileo, where we thought that the whole universe was revolving around the Earth. You know, we just that was ultimate reality. It was like, oh my goodness, you know, oh it you know, we're in a solar system over at the edge of the universe. You know, it's kind of like there's just this new reality of, oh my goodness, you know, we're sort of awakening to this research, this science, this reality, and you know what, this lived-in reality, and that's the beautiful thing that you're emphasizing here. Lived-in reality. Yes, there's science. Yes, there's research, but boy, the real juicy part, the deliciousness, is the lived-in reality. And this program, the keys to evolving in a conscious universe, it gets to that. Let's go take a quick look at a little video clip we have, and then Jude and I are going to come back and talk about it. Here we go.
We can show up and open ourselves to intuitive insights. We can show up and take notice of the synchronicities that, you know, for me in my life, and I know for you and yours, and many, many folks, are our way showers. When I've literally been aware and gone beyond the, oh, that's an interesting coincidence, and put it to one side, but appreciated that it's offering me an opportunity to show up and follow and see where it leads. You know, again, Indigenous wisdom is so wonderful with this, because Indigenous wisdom is filled with signs and symbols. And that's how our universe, it seems to me, communicates with us, in signs and symbols. I mean, I'm clairaudient, so, you know, I do hear messages in English sometimes, but more often it's a sense, it's a feeling. But if we honor that, because each of us are sort of these resonant antenna for the whole universe, if we're willing to open ourselves up, what we can do is attune to the invitation of the universe. And we do that by not being in here all the time, but finding ways which work for each of us. And it's different for each of us. Some, it's meditative practice or yoga. For me, it's dancing to ABBA or eating chocolate. Well, you know, whatever works. But I'm serious here, because when we're joyful, when we have reasons to be grateful, that is when we're in a profound resonance with the evolutionary flow of the universe. And that evolutionary flow of the universe, it seems to me, is flowing through us. And when we close ourselves down, whether we become fearful, when we say, oh, that's nonsense, and this is all there is, and I'm separate from you, and you're separate from, you know, we're all separate from each other, then that evolutionary impulse gets so snagged, it becomes sluggish. It's like a river that's been dammed, you know. And all I'm suggesting, and it's the easiest thing, it really is, it's certainly the simplest thing. Maybe I shouldn't say it's the easiest, because sometimes it's very challenging, but it is the simplest thing, is to undam the river, that flow of consciousness, that universal invitation to consciously evolve, by opening ourselves up to its possibilities and its potential, and the unique role that we have and are just by our very being here.
Okay, so that was a clip from the Keys to Evolving in a Conscious Universe, this free program that we just sent a communication out on it today. Invite you to sign up for it. It's about a 45, 50-minute program that Jude and I created that's just stuffed with wisdom like that. I love that clip, Jude. I just love this clip. Oh, it gets to so much, you know, that we could live lives, you know, where you mentioned, you use the metaphor of a dam, where we're just kind of that whole that whole stream of universal consciousness isn't coming through. But then you bring in what we all have practices, and there are many, you know, chocolate and dancing to ABBA, you know, and yes, meditation, prayer, walking in nature, yoga, beautiful, so important. And then we undam, you know, then we undam this thing. And then we come into this coherence, this connection, this frequency with this conscious universe. Oh, gotta love that clip.
I'm so glad you do, because when I said about ABBA and chocolate, I am serious. That is It gives me great joy. What I found years and years ago is when I really started to engage with nature spirits. And I'd been sort of walking between worlds since I was very young, but it was only about 35, 40 years ago that I came to live in this part of the world, actually, which is very, I live now on the edge of a village, so I'm surrounded by trees and nature. And I love just walking and being in nature. But for the first time in my life, I really got to engage with nature spirits. And what I came to realize is that if I was sad, if I was fearful, if I was whatever, in that sort of sense of limitation, they would rarely show up. But when I was joyful, when I was grateful, when I was loving, when I was appreciative, when I was just having a good time, they would show up. And I once did a workshop in Dublin, in Ireland. And the lady who was hosting us had this beautiful tree in her garden. And she was bemoaning the fact that she'd never seen a nature spirit. She'd never seen what sometimes are called orbs. You know, you've heard of orbs, of discarnate lights. And she said, I've never seen an orb. I would love to see an orb. Anyway, we went through the workshop and it started out quite serious and she was quite serious. And I couldn't be serious. I just started bursting out laughing. And I was laughing and we were joking and she was laughing and she was joking. And she said, this was twilight. And she looked out and the tree was full of orbs and she could see them. For the first time in her life, she could see them. And she just burst into tears. But they were happy tears.
Yeah, this is such an important point in the mediums that we work with, Suzanne Giesemann, Karen Noe, James Von Prager. They share the same thing, that we have to kind of climb, we're energetic beings, of course, spiritual beings, energetic beings. And we have to raise our vibration up to that non-physical life is at a very high vibration. So, being in that joy and that laughter and raising our vibration there, boom, all of a sudden, with the connection it becomes stronger as we raise our vibration. The bridge is there. We can even do these things with the afterlife that now are becoming quite common. So that is a beautiful story, though. God, I love that. Wow. So that retreat must have been magnificent, huh?
It was fabulous. It was wonderful. And I think that's another key. Love, joy, and gratitude. I mean, they in a sense, they form a wave or a circle. So you can enter that circle of possibility at any point. But if you keep that circle moving through that process of love and joy and gratitude, then magic happens. All the things that I share when we did the sort of the session together, when I talked about synchronicities and sort of signs and symbols, because of this resonance, when we're resonant, which is this higher vibration that you're speaking of, which is a resonance and a vibration, a coherence of love frequency, of joy, of gratitude, then that resonance naturally comes into its fullness. And then instead of sort of that slight glitchiness I shared when we sort of close ourselves down, we open ourselves up. And instead of, stream of consciousness, it becomes a vast river of consciousness flowing through us in the most beautiful way. It's never overwhelming, but it's so beautiful because it's who we really are. It's remembering and enabling us to live our lives with the universe flowing through us and us flowing through the universe.
Yeah, oh, it's so true. And I can just feel the afterlife, the non-physical realms going, oh, this is such a great conversation. This was the invitation in life all along. Hooray! Physical beings are getting it, because this is so true, and it really is our moment. We were talking in the green room, before coming in. Wow, this great shift of the ages. Whew, we're in it. This big pivot, and it just feels so good. I mean, this is really that elusive prosperity, deliciousness in life. How do we find it? Well, here it is. And of course, our viewers are here because they're experiencing it too. Everybody's stretching into it deeper and deeper and deeper, and that's what this program again, created with Jude Currivan, The Keys to Evolving in a Conscious Universe, that brings in just this beautiful wisdom. We're just kind of touching the surface here now. So I think, yeah, we've got a link here to the free program, The Keys to Evolving in a Conscious Universe. Invite everybody to check it out. You'll be glad you did. Okay, so in the green room, I just wanted to bring in our dear friend, Connie Baxter Marlowe is present. She says, this is such an important evolutionary leap for humanity. Thank you, Jude, for your key work. And yeah, absolutely, Connie, we're with you. And Connie, she and her husband, Andrew, the trust frequency is one of their really important books and works that they bring to the world as a wonderful contribution to this awakening going on. Okay, well, actually, let me get to one other question here, and then we're going to go take a look at this masterclass, Our Conscious Revolution. So this is from Kevin. It's out on Facebook. He says, can you explain how we can utilize conscious energy as a conduit for communication, travel, healing, education, creation, and co-creation? So he's kind of got a number of things strung together there. I have my own understanding with experiences of each, but I would like your take on it as a world-leading scientist.
Well, first of all, Kevin, thank you for the question. And before I say thank you to Kevin, thank you for Connie and Andrew, because you are doing magnificent work, and the trust frequency is so, so vital as part of this whole emergent process. So thank you. And Kevin, yes, I think the key thing is that our universe exists and evolves as what's known as a non-locally unified entity. So although within space-time, the speed of light is the cosmic traffic cop, that nothing can go faster than the speed of light. And that's really important, because otherwise we wouldn't have a universe that began 13.8 billion years ago, has existed and evolved ever since to this point. And there is a flow of time, and there is a sort of flow of causality within space-time. The laws of physics wouldn't work otherwise. But it's not just an either or, it's both and. Our universe also exists and evolves as a non-locally unified entity in its wholeness. So within its wholeness, just as, for example, our bodies comprise something like 37 trillion cells each cell has intelligence and each cell does what it does, but our whole body coherently exists and evolves. In a sense, we are cells of our universal body. But think of our universe, therefore, as existing, evolving as a non-locally unified entity. It knows its wholeness in every moment, which means that all the phenomena that we've called supernormal, or sometimes supernatural, paranormal, but now more and more seeing as supernormal, are just that. We mentioned synchronicities, but also things like telepathy, precognition. They're all able and natural attributes of our consciousness, because we are microcosms of our entire universe. Now, you may think that this is something that science has not yet proven, but it is something that science has now proven, because late last year, and as Steve knows, the Nobel Prize of Physics was given to 3 researchers, John Clauser, Anton Zellinger, and Alan Aspect, who'd been researching the possibilities of universal non-locality for decades, and experimentally. And the Nobel Prize is only given for what's known as settled science. In other words, if there's any doubt, if there's any uncertainty in its findings, it's held off. It's not given as a prize, but it is and has been given as a prize. So science has now shown that what I'm sharing of our universe essentially as a whole, as a cosmic hologram, in its wholeness enables all the things that you talk about to be natural, because mind and consciousness aren't something we have. They are literally what we and our entire universe and the whole world are. So when you talk about consciousness, we're now realizing, and the ancients did, is that consciousness, cosmic consciousness, expresses itself as the appearance of our universe. It's energy, matter, it's space, time. But that appearance is innately conscious, and it does so in what's known as meaningful information. In other words, cosmic awareness, cosmic consciousness, expressing itself as digital and meaningful information, makes up what we've hitherto called energy, matter, and space-time, we're now realizing that we can still call them that, but that appearance is not the deeper level of fundamental reality. It's real, but it's not that deeper level. And that deeper level is also showing us that the illusion of separation that plays out on this surface level of its appearance is not its fundamental reality. We are literally inseparable. So we're inseparable from each other and the whole world. We're each unique representatives of its wholeness, its unity and its diversity. And we, each of us, naturally are able to communicate, engage with its multidimensional realities in a non-local, way that naturally encompasses our entire consciousness and all the phenomena that we've been speaking to. But what I'd encourage you, Kevin, is to go beyond quantum physics, which is so last century, to go to what's called informational holographic physics, which others of us are sharing, where consciousness, then think of that as your consciousness and your intention informs the energy, which is essentially it's a waveguide. It's just a way of propagating consciousness and information, but it's consciousness and information that's the basic stuff of reality.
Yeah, boy, beautiful. I mean, I love, Jude, the way with your research you bring in this deeper, really thoughtful response to questions like this, where we really go down into this is why it is so, and this is how it works, and this is how you can do it. All the things we want to get to,
Exactly.
So really beautiful. Just a deeper, really, really thoughtful response, and of course, this is why we have so many viewers here, and why this wave, as we call it, is coming in here now. Is best of all, we're feeling into these things. So as you talk, I'm sure people are going, "Yep, I feel that one, and I feel that one, and that one, and that one." This whole, again, deliciousness in life. Back I grew up here in the U.S. with the whole American dream thing. And the lower ladders of it actually are beautiful, of just equal opportunity, equal education. And boy, that's a global thing. Don't we want that for everybody? But then the steps on that ladder, sometimes go up into this fame and fortune and power thing, and that's where, oops, we kind of lost our way here. It's and not that we can't enjoy, some, material things and so on, but the real treasure is all of this what you were calling this breaking of the dam, womb, where we're now in this frequency with this cohesion with this universal consciousness around us, and really seeing the beauty in life and the sacred in life and so on, and the joy, in life, actually, high vibration, joy, laughter, etc. So, okay, now we're going to segue over here to this, the masterclass. So there's a 16 module then masterclass that Jude created. It's called Our Conscious Revolution. And we're going to go look at a clip, but I'll just share the beautiful thing about this masterclass is it's getting at how we can, as we're really, surfing this wave, living into the fullness of it, how we're bringing all of the beauty and the offerings of it into our homes and the communities, but also out into the world. So it's bringing in this whole aspect of this great shift of the ages, this pivot that, that's creating this beautiful future for our children and future generations, where we create a conscious planet. We're going to talk some more about that too after we get to the masterclass. So let's go to the clip, and then Jude and I are going to come back and talk a little bit about the clip and the masterclass.
The acting local is what's here, what is ours to do, what's in front of us, what makes our hearts sing. What can we do to serve the greater good of all beings here and now? And it may feel very small, but the beautiful thing about our universe's universal consciousness is when we offer a small act of kindness, or a loving smile, or a small action that seems very local, the ripples of those effects go where we know not. And it's not about how it benefits us. It's going back to what I was saying a little bit earlier. How can we empower others? So this includes the way of being a servant leader. How can we serve the good of the whole? It involves becoming beyond a role model and not taking ourselves seriously in doing so. But how can we be a soul model? How can we be our authentic selves in that wondrous adventure that we're all on? And how can we attune and align with the evolutionary flow of the entire universe as it flows through us?
Okay, you got to love that. Be a soul model and alive with the universal consciousness that's flowing through us. So, again, what a beautiful clip here. And that's just a teeny, teeny little nugget from a 16 module brand new masterclass called Our Conscious Revolution. Our friends that are here in the green room on Humanity Stream Plus, boy, dig in. It's here loaded on the platform. And Humanity Stream Plus, for people that don't know, it has hundreds of these transformational education programs and masterclasses. If you go into the library, you could scroll all day. This is a new contribution, and we're very excited to be promoting it. First, the free program, and then this new masterclass. So dig in. It's incredible. Jude, do you want to talk a little bit about the masterclass, because it's phenomenal?
Thank you, Steve. Well, really what I wanted to invite folks on is a journey, and realizing that every aspect of the title of the masterclass has significance. I talk about our conscious revolution to begin with, because it's not my. it's expanding our journey to realize that we cannot do this on our own. You know, it's like I wake up and nobody else does. Well, it can be a lonely place. So it's very much our conscious revolution. So it's how do we expand our circle of compassion that enables each of us to find these keys. And I talk and share this, and each module includes an invited experience, and they include attunements and many other ways of really getting this experientially and embodied within us, but then to expand beyond the me, not to lose the we, but to become ever more authentically me, to enable the me to then expand to include the we space and the all. So conscious, of course, because you know, there's so much that is showing us that we cannot serve transformational change in the world unless we transform ourselves and our own awareness. So somebody said it's an inside job, and it is an inside job. So the masterclass is really hoping to empower everyone on this journey to help that inside job to be able to serve the greater good of the whole going forward. And that service can be tiny. It can be absolutely so close to home. It can just be me in that regard. But I think the general sense is, and you know this from your own journey, when we take steps, we naturally embrace others. We naturally embrace, you know, the sort of the sense of the wholeness of all there is. And revolution, because it's far more than, you know, tiny little steps. It's revolutionary evolution, and it's we-evolution because we're doing it together. And then the rest of the title is also the masterclass, our transformational journey, because it is transformational. It literally changes us from the inside out and the outside in, but we're still us. We're still us. Yes? I'm still ABBA and chocolate biscuits and a glass of red wine. I'm still me, I promise. But it's very much that transformational inside and outside, and journey, transformational journey, not just to well-being, but to whole being, to enable us to expand our awareness so the whole of the universe, the whole of all that we really are, can flow through us. That is whole being and belonging. Because on this journey, we remember, we learn, we get to know that it's not just our, you know, the world expressed its unity and diversity and inclusion, but that we belong. We don't have to ask permission. We belong. So this is that journey to
Right.
remembering this wonder of which we are such incredible, unique, and yet whole beings in this journey of our universe. That's the masterclass.
Yeah. So now, is that inviting friends or what? So, and the beautiful thing is, as we do this, as we live this way, this delicious way that Jude is describing, as we know, and there's enough of us, we get to that, we don't know whether it's the 4% or 8% or 10%, but we get to that tipping point number, voila, boom. Once the planet shifts into this, where we're in our wholeness, our diversity and unity, our oneness, etc., where we're living consciously, as we know, it's all about, you don't foul a planet, you don't start wars, you don't start GMO companies, this is not what wholeness and nurturing and is about, right? So we then create this planet for our kids and future generations who deserve this beautiful future. And of course, our Changing Humanity's Future initiative, about a year old, and then Jude's Whole World View initiative, which we're partners. This is what it is about. So isn't this wonderful that as we open the treasure chest to our own life, to, oh my goodness, we start living into the fullness of what Jude is talking about here. And when we do it together, we do it all of a sudden collectively, we create that for the planet, where all of a sudden we're on this journey, we are now actually, to this sustainable and flourishing humankind and planet. And wow, where the earth, of course, is part of this one that we're talking about, and animal life and plant life, and just this whole new future. So I just want to bring that in because as Jude and the Humanities team are working on free programs and master classes, of course, people ask, what's in it for me? I want to understand, how I can further my own evolution. But they're also interested in, and how does it support the community, and my country and the world? And the good news is we just have the ding, ding, ding going here because it's yes, across all of these things. So our conscious revolution, Jude Currivan's new masterclass, it's a solo, just her, all 16 modules. Now, also, it's on the Humanity Stream Plus platform, which in the industry still, this is the most sophisticated streaming platform in the whole industry. When you get into the library and you start using it on your television and on your pad and your iPhone, etc., you'll see, wow, this is a true streaming platform, and it has hundreds of programs on it. I checked this morning just to see how many Jude has on the platform now. She has 42 video trainings there on the program on Humanity Stream Plus. So if you want to see a lot of Jude, you could even do an all weekend thing probably. What do they call that when you binge? Yeah, binge. You could binge watch Jude for a weekend if you
That's
wanted.
a thought. That's a thought for everyone.
That'd be, maybe grab a little chocolate and red wine just to kind of, make sure Jude, that's one of her things to relax. So, hooray. So very exciting. Yeah, we're real excited to be talking about these programs with you here, Jude. So let's segue into, again, I mentioned Changing Humanity's Future and Whole World View, these programs that are really important to us. We are a 501c3 nonprofit. This is the work of Jude, as people know. She's actually in the green room. She was sharing, she's out working with NGOs, the United Nations. It's not just, there's a top line and bottom line to grow. Our North Star, as you can see, and I think as people know, it's just creating a real healthy, beautiful way of living. The way we were, remembering who we are and then living into that. That's our North Star. And we'll go anywhere, and talk to any audience that supports that. And Jude, we absolutely love that about you. As your, the unitive narrative, you were such a support to that. That's an evolutionary leader initiative, and the Global Oneness Summit is coming up. It's in October. Right now, we're actually in 99 Days to Unity, and so people probably know Ben Bowler and the Unity Earth and Purpose Earth. So they're in the middle of this program, this 99 Days to Unity, and Jude and I and Humanities team are all involved in that. We're excited to be involved in it. And then it kind of ends with the October event, the Global Oneness Summit. Jude, you have how many programs in the Global Oneness Summit this year?
I think I'm involved in three, and they're very different, actually, Steve. One is about the significance of a unitive underpinning and framing and narrative message for children. And there's a wonderful initiative that Victoria Friedman has been guiding of a series of 3 books. One is based on one of my books, and it's called The One Brightness. Another is working with Ryan Eisler's work on partnerships. And the other one is working with Dr. Robert Atkinson's work on wholeness. So these are 3 books for 6-year-olds. And Victoria's done this most incredible job of illustrations, and she's a wonderful storyteller. So this message that's coming out is for everyone. And so many are linking and lifting up to ensure that whatever language is used, ultimately, as you say, it's about how do we live into this. So a lot of my work is exactly that. You know, how do we transform economics from a dead economy to a life economy, and therefore that supports people and planet and the good of the whole. And work has been done. We're not doing a standing start here, as we all know. So much work has been done over so many years, but its time is now, where it seems to me that traction and that acceleration and that grounding and that, you know, that critical pivoting point is very, very close to being reached. Whatever we hear about in the mainstream news, it's bubbling, it's growing. That river, that dam is cracking. And when it cracks, my goodness me, what an incredible flow of love will flow through us all.
That's it. Yeah, if there's one word, it's love. Yeah, and that dam is cracking. Oh my goodness, there's just fractures everywhere and water pouring through and in certain places, and we all, I'm sure that's why viewers are here, whether you're out on social media or in the green room, as you're experiencing this, and what we're experiencing is a deepening into it. So all of us, you know, and there's no there, as we know. It just, you know, you can just keep on deepening in forever and ever and ever, which is the beautiful thing about it. That's why Humanities team is here, is of course to support, make conscious living pervasive worldwide by 2040. So that's our overarching theme. That's just 17 years from now. I want to share just one thing. Well, first, Jude, you know, just while we're talking about the Global Oneness Summit, so she has 3 programs. You go to humanitiesteam.org with a Y, you'll see our programs. The Global Oneness Summit is one of the featured programs there on the page. Our Conscious Business Initiative, our Changing Humanity's Future initiative, you'll see lots of free programs. If you go up into the top left at humanitiesteam.org, it says programs, and you can pull down the free programs item, and then there's just, you could binge watch free programs for a whole weekend, and there's just incredible wisdom, including Jude's free program, this one, and the one she created with Andrew Harvey that we featured earlier in the year. So do check those out here, where it looks like on the screen we're putting that opt-in page back up. So now, this initiative, Changing Humanity's Future, I just want to say something. We had a global gathering on June 28th with Neil Donald Walsh and lots of other invited guests. Jude's has come in again and again and again to support this initiative, and we thank you for that, Jude. And one of the things we shared on June 28th is we're at a stage now where we really want to get public attention and media attention to the remedy to all of this downward spiral thing that is being talked about in homes around the world. Oh my gosh, extreme weather seems to be getting worse. The Ukraine war doesn't seem to have an end in sight. And polarities everywhere, you know, in politics and economics everywhere, social injustice, so many things. And there's a remedy, as we know, that's right here, right now. It's what we're talking about. It's what we're actually connecting the dots here, even as we talk, and we're saying yes, and it's so delicious, and we remember, and so on. And then when we do it collectively, this downward spiral, boom, we heal that. You know, we remedied it. We can't do those things because we're, as Jude is sharing, there's a wholeness aspect, which is all of humanity, all of the earth and animal and plant life. And we're really, it's about nurturing that love, you know. It's about nurturing all of life on the planet. And so we want to raise this up as a remedy. And we don't, we're not naive and think, oh, the press and the public will all jump on it and say, oh, the remedy's here, hooray. But that'll create a discussion. So Jude can come to the table. Other scientists can come to the table. Near-death experience, like Dr. Eben Alexander, who was a part of our program, this Intelligence of the Afterlife that we're doing right now, can come to the table. Nassim Harriman can come to the table. Bruce Lipton can come to the table. Humanities team can come to the table. We can just talk, about conscious living, the discussion we're having here, and for people who will listen and really hear, I think we can make a very strong case that this conscious living is in fact a remedy. We're living into it now. We're actually well into it, and perhaps the hardest part is even behind us, which might sound rather shocking or jarring, but I think maybe that's true. This wave is coming in. So I want to invite you all, viewers, to, yes, this free program, the Masterclass, Humanity Stream Plus, and in your home, where you're invited into any kind of meeting or discussion around what's happening in the world. If it feels right for you, be that voice, embody this, express this, talk about this remedy that's right here, right now. And when the discussion turns to our kids and future generations, and this is where it can get a little sweaty right now, we can say, hey, we have the genie in the bottle. There is a remedy. Let's do this. Let's create that for these future generations, our kids and future generations. Okay, and if you want any support at all in this, reach out to us at Humanities Team. This is really why we're here. Yes, to support you individually, but to support this collective initiative, which we call Changing Humanity's Future. Jude calls Whole World View. They're the same thing. We're pointed at the very same North Star of let's create healthy people, live into it, remember, live healthy, wonderful lives, have beautiful homes, communities, and a healthy world. This is the North Star. This is why we're here. Jude, I know we're gonna go off air in about 2 minutes, but I know this is close to your heart, so please chime in here.
Well, first of all, I wholeheartedly agree. And I just want to sort of echo, Steve, what you said. This is happening. This is happening. The river is flowing. And, often when you get revolutions, when you get emergence, when you get evolutionary processes, it's the center that is last to get it. These happen at the periphery. These happen with the weirdos and the outliers and all the rest of it. And revolutions take a certain process. They start with everybody ignoring them and in denial. And then they come to a point where people are pointing and saying, no, no, no. And then it moves on. And then people are going, oh, well, maybe. And then finally, people get it and say, oh, we've always known this.
Right.
I'm not a betting woman, but I really feel that in 10 years' time, we will be in that point where people say, we've always known this.
Yeah. Right.
We've always known this. And I do feel this will happen a lot faster than we anticipate, because as a cosmologist and as a student of evolutionary processes, I know that when the time is right, because we are a conscious universe, a loving universe, as Connie put in the chat, a living universe, that when the time's right, things happen very quickly. And that can be breakdown and breakthrough. And that's my sense. And I'd love us to have this conversation with a cup of tea, even 10 years from now, Steve, and see how far we've come.
Yes, I am so with you. Yeah, I'm so with you. So this, it's our time. We're in this great shift of the ages now. Thank you to viewers for being here with us today. Boy, what a fantastic conversation. Jude, thank you for coming in live from your home. Always so wonderful to be with you. I also want to thank Jim Gray, who's right here in the studio. He's our producer. We'll pull the camera back here. That's me on the couch. That's Jim over there. Okay. He's got the courage to do a live program in today's world where he's bringing in clips and us live all over the world. Jim, thank you. Nanette Kennedy, Dee Meyer, Andy Guski, Karen Watson, Garth Catterall. So these are some of the people that support me and Humanities Team, make these programs possible. So huge thank you. And again, viewers, thank you for being here and living it and being activists with us. And, in 10 years, so I take that challenge. 10 years, we're coming back, Jude. We're on camera. We're going to have tea together. And we're going to say, we'll say, we've always known this, right? We'll be living in the fullness of it. So, hey, let's do that together, everybody. I know we are. Thank you for being with us. And love and peace and blessings to everybody.